Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all doing well. This is the tarot card meaning of the minor arcana for the Five of Cups. And okay, so I'm just gonna go over and explain how to interpret this card in a spread. Okay, so if you see this card and it's present in a reading, it's pretty clear that it's a card of loss by looking at the figure. He's cloaked in a black drape, and he looks very sad. It's a very somber card. And the common saying behind this card is crying over spilled milk. And so basically, if you see this card in a reading, it means sadness and loss and regret and mourning, and those are mainly the key words to this card. Also, if you see it in let's say for example, you see it in a work reading, it could mean that you've essentially had your dreams dashed. It represents loss in your dreams of something that you have aspired for. Say, for example, um, you dreamt or you dreamt of being. Uh, this is just an example. I'm not saying it has to mean this specifically, but like if you dreamt of being a great artist, and then something comes up and you can't fulfill that dream. You can't go on with it. Something is in the way, and the other cards surrounding it can give you some detail as to what's behind the story. Why are you feeling this feeling of loss? What is going on to make you feel this way? And so basically, I have the Five of Cups to represent a feeling of loss and sadness. And in terms of work, it's basically the idea that you can't pursue what you wanted, but there is two cups still standing. So the idea is that there's still a bright side, even with the three cups that are fallen. But it's the time in our life when the Five of Cups shows up where the sadness is the most acute. So it's really difficult to focus on the bright side. That's the essence of what the Five of Cups is capturing. A very a very acute sadness. Yeah, it's not so dark like, let's say, the Devil card, or something like the Eight of Swords, where it just seems bleak. The Five of Cups has a somewhat hopeful feeling behind it, mainly because of the two cups still standing. But it's still a sad card overall. So 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 you have the Five of Cups to mean that in work, but I'm gonna go ahead and just explain the card in meaning for the love aspect. So in love, you have the Five of Cups to represent a breakup or a loss. If you have done something that you feel sorry about and you regret something, even if it's not like a breakup, it could even mean just it could even represent just feeling bad in a relationship. If you're in a relationship where you're not feeling happy, if for example, let's say you have the devil next to the Five of Cups, well, it's most likely that you didn't break up or anything, but it's just a very negative relationship, and it's weighing on you and it's making you sad or upset, because the devil card represents feeling trapped and feeling that there's no way out. So there's that way to interpret the Five of Cups. But like I said, you need to have the surrounding cards to emphasize that. And if you have the Three of Swords, for example, next to the Five of Cups, well, it's pretty obvious it's because of either a breakup or you were cheated on or some type of betrayal took place, and you're left feeling this emotion as a result. So, okay, so then you have that that definition, and just make sure that when you do interpret it, I do look at the position of where it falls in the spread. So, as I've stated in my other videos, if you see it in the past, it's saying that you were feeling that way in the past. If it's in the present, you are feeling that way. If it's in the future, you're gonna feel that way. You're gonna feel this sadness for some reason. And I don't like, looking at things like they're set in stone. That's why I'm a little worry of making any hard, future predictions. But it's something to expect, not something to feel like it's a train wreck happening and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there's really no point in doing a reading if there's nothing you can do to change it. I always look at tarot readings as a form of guidance, something to help me figure out what could happen, and then if you can understand what to do to avoid it, you take the necessary actions to prevent it from happening, right? So that's the meaning I associate the Five of Cups to mean in a love reading, for example. So it could mean anything from feeling a loss, a rejection, a breakup, a heartbreak, betrayal. And then the surrounding cards emphasize the meaning. And so, I do look at the surrounding cards, and that's how, I have always advised people to read the cards. And lastly, let's see, oh yeah, then the financial aspect. Okay. So financially, in the Five of Cups reading, excuse me, in the Five of Cups reading, if you have this card present for a financial reading, it represents loss. Again, you've lost a lot of money. Maybe you've invested a lot of money into something and it didn't work out. A good example would be, I don't know, something that, for some reason, the thing that came to mind was like the stock market, like if a stock market crashed or you took a risk, it's a loss. It's a card of loss. It's the trough, it's definitely not a happy card. So you you got you got it to mean a pretty, sad negative thing. And then if you're doing, like, say, a general reading, because I do readings live, and for a living, and if I have clients that ask me to do general readings, I personally don't like general readings. I always try to avoid them as much as possible when I talk to clients, just because it a lot of times it doesn't end very positively, not because I see anything bad, but because a general reading will get a general answer. It's like, okay, you're being too vague, and I can't really help if you're being that vague, but in let's say a reading, if I'm seeing, for example, the Five of Cups, and it doesn't tell me what is the sadness about. It could mean it's in love or in financial situation. Well, the surrounding cards, if I am doing a general reading, the surrounding cards can tell me what is it related to. If I see the Ten of Pentacles, for example, well, I think most likely it's something related to money. So, even with sometimes clients being very vague, just saying, "Oh, just give me a general reading," I can still pretty much dig up what the problem is, what they're thinking about. But but sometimes on occasion, I won't be able to know, because the cards don't always work that way. They don't always work that way, because it's just the way the cards fall. So, but yeah, I did remember how when reading for clients, they do sometimes ask for general readings, and like if I see this card, for example, I like to figure out like in what context, what are they feeling a loss, and so um the 10 of, like the 10 of cups, the 5 of cups is basically about, sadness, and always make sure that you're looking at what's around it, and so yeah, if I see, for some reason the Wheel of Fortune popped into my head. Well, if you see the Wheel of Fortune card next to the 5 of cups, it means your life took a negative toll. It took, it went in the negative direction. um I pull out clarifiers a lot of times if I'm still stuck past that, if I'm still not sure what it's about, and then the clarifier can even mean like in what context. Like for example, if I see a court card, that could tell me it's about somebody's in particular, that the client knows, and is the cause of their troubles or sadness. So yeah, so this is just my way of reading the 5 of Cups. So that's how I interpret it. There's really that not that much to really go on with the 5 of Cups. I mean, mainly it's just a card of sadness and loss, and if you look, there's a metaphor. There's the bridge. It's water under the bridge. Move on, kind of an idea behind it. So, and that's about, all I could really say about the 5 of Cups. It's kind of a sad card, but tomorrow brings a new day, right? So, um, okay, so that's my definition on the 5 of Cups. I hope this helped. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be sure to answer. I've been pretty bad on like uploading videos lately, so I'm gonna try to be more, persistent at it. I just had a lot going on. I had a lot of things going on lately, so that's why. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know, and you can also visit my website, stellartarot.com. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.